to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks everybody. So why don't we go ahead and take a roll call? Why don't we go ahead and take roll call and the determination of a quorum this evening?
Yep, is everybody unmuted? Just 1 second.
Yes.
Okay. Arnold?
Here.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Johnson?
Let me see.
Hey, hello? Here?
Yep.
There we go.
Thank you. Macy?
Here.
Robertson? O'Rourke?
Here.
And Palmer. All right, we do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Why don't we open with any requests for agenda changes? Is there any requests by the commission for agenda changes this evening?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have a request for agenda change, but if we could add maybe something towards the end of the agenda. I'd like to have an open discussion about maybe adding pickleball courts to maybe one of the outdoor court facilities.
Okay, we'll go ahead and add discussion on pickleball courts being added to a park, and also Commissioner Fernandez had?
Yes, can we have a update on current projects, parks?
Okay, and an update on current projects taking place within the parks. Okay, so the minutes for the meeting on March 14, 2022 were submitted, and if everybody has read those, if we could have somebody who would go ahead and make a motion to approve them, then we'll also need a second.
I'll move that they get approved.
I'll second.
Thank you. We do have a approval and a second. This evening, we're moving into audience participation, so do we have any audience members that would like to participate or have any questions this evening?
I don't see any hand raised right now
All right,
electronically.
thank you. Any unfinished business from our last meeting? Okay, we're moving right along. So we have some new business this evening, and why don't we start with Commissioner Arnold, who would like to have a discussion on pickleball courts being added to the to one of the outdoor parks. So, Ms. Arnold, you can proceed.
Yeah, thanks for that. So a little bit of background. I just started playing pickleball with my parents, and they love it. All of their friends love it. I'm not sure if anyone else on the board has ever played, but it's a great sport for especially like a little bit older of a demographic. It's like really getting to be a hot sport in the area. My parents even said that Wixom is adding outdoor pickleballs to their parks, one of their parks. So I guess, maybe talk about it maybe for this summer, maybe for next summer even in 2023, taking one of the existing tennis courts that's maybe rarely used and converting a portion of the tennis courts into pickleball.
Yeah, I'm actually all for that. It's very interesting we're bringing this conversation up tonight because I was actually involved in a conversation with one of my neighbors about pickleball courts as well, and I also started playing. And I know Novi has a really complex program over there. Between the Novi Athletic Center, there's St. James Catholic Church has pickleball every day, and it's sold out, basically. And so I do think it's something we should look at. Dan, in regards to tennis courts, is that something feasible? And do we have people playing there? Or even at Hiram Sims Park in that opposite corner we always talk about?
There's plenty of room in Hiram Sims to add something like that. I don't know that I'd recommend using the existing tennis courts. I don't think the surface is quite up to speed because it's probably 25, 30 years old. A lot of cracks and whatnot, and maybe it could be resurfaced and done there. But yeah, I mean, that's something we could definitely look into.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about pickleball courts too is they're a smaller footprint, so you can fit more courts in to a smaller space. And what I found is it's a very social game. So people meet up, they play, they meet friends.
Absolutely. How would we go about I'm going to ask you, Commissioner Fernandez, how do we go about proceeding then? I'm sure we'd have to bring it to City Council because it'd be a budget item, correct? And then how would we go about
I think-
formulating this?
Probably the best thing would be to have Dan maybe give us some quotes on what a new court would be and what would be to rehabilitate one of our old courts. Also, I'd like to know if our tennis courts are even being used. Can we get?
I don't see them being used during the week. I've seen them in the evenings. I've been down there and saw some people out playing. Basketball courts do get used quite a bit.
Okay.
Volleyball, hardly ever,
Yeah.
unless there's an event down there, like a family reunion or something like that. But just neighborhood kids coming down to the parks and using them, not so much anymore.
Okay.
Can you maybe get us some prices on maybe that, on that?
Sure. Yeah, I can look
And then
into
bring
it.
it back here, we'll vote on it, if it's feasible, and then that goes to the city council.
Okay.
Commissioner Arnold, how many courts would you suggest? Is this something where 2 would be adequate for now to start, or what would your assumption be on that?
Yeah, I mean, since they are so small, I'm sure there's a couple of different layouts, but I would assume maybe 4 or 5.
Okay,
So you can fit about 2 pickleball courts in the footprint of 1 tennis court.
okay. And then would we look at any other
And
part? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I think the other cool thing about having multiple, like 4 or 5, is you can have a meetup. Like local community groups can schedule like a tournament type of thing and get a group of 10 or 15 people and all play at the same time.
Okay. And would we consider any other parks? I mean, Hiram Sims would be a great place just because we've got that open corner that we've talked about doing flowers and dog runs and all of that. So that's logical. The tennis courts be consideration. Maybe volleyball. What about any other parks, do you think?
I don't really think we could support the parking
Okay.
for that at the other parks. They're pretty small parking lots.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're putting the new equipment in at Riley, so that's being taken up. Marshall Taylor Park, with a lot of trees, just fairly small. I don't think it would be a good fit in the parking lots, like I said, they're too small.
Okay, yeah, and the parking's a great point. Good. So then we'd proceed by having a discussion next month regarding budget and what you uncovered, is that correct? And then from there, we'd look at moving towards city council?
Well, everybody's real busy right now. It's springtime, a lot of projects are starting. So I might need a little more time to get some quotes. I don't know what their availability would be out to give me quotes. They'd probably have to look at the parks, look at the condition of the ground, how much excavating they might have to do, if there's trees that need to be removed or whatever.
So we're looking, well, it'd be for 2023 anyway, so we can
Right, so
we can
we've
push
got
this back till possibly even fall, I guess, if that works for you,
yeah,
your team
that'd
better.
be great. Look,
Okay.
extra time without.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners in regards to this?
I'm sorry, I think it's a great idea. It is a very social game, and it's also for all ages, which I think is great to be able to give people a generational kind of game to get more people to the park, so I think that's great.
We'll do that.
Yeah, and I support it also. I think what you're finding is people are putting in these kind of courts, pickleball courts, instead of tennis courts. It's happening in the communities everywhere, and it's become a big thing. It's also a good indoor game. And I'm not sure if through the community offerings of education, if they have some of that too, indoor during the winter. But definitely it would be good for the summer
All right, perfect.
events to have outdoor courts.
Okay. So let's keep this discussion alive moving forward. However, let's also give some time before we really start digging into the specifics. So give Dan, whenever it fits into your schedule and your team's schedule, to start taking a look at it. Sounds
Okay.
great, and certainly won't wait till we'll wait till the end of summer and once the concerts wrap up and everything.
Okay.
Cool. Well, good suggestion. Thank you, Commissioner Arnold, for bringing that forward. Any other questions or comments before we move on to our next topic?
Is this, we're going to do the parks update, or are you going to do that toward the end?
I was just going to have you move right into an update on the current parks.
Sorry.
Yeah, that would fit in well. Thanks.
You're so smart. Good.
Okay, well, everybody's very excited and seeing a lot of activity down at Riley Park. We're putting in the new playground equipment. They started early last week. They got all the excavation done, all the old wood chip material, mud, dug out down to good hard ground, put the gravel in, the base in. Today, they're down there augering the holes to start setting the equipment. And then once the equipment's set, we're putting in some drain tiles to keep water from puddling on top of the rubberized surface. And then they have to wait for the ambient temperatures to be above 50 before they can do the rubberized material on top. So it might be a week or two. I know this week's pretty nice, but next week it's going to be down in the 40s at night again, and it is Michigan, so we might have to wait a little longer before we can get the rubberized material in. They're going to start with the concrete work on Thursday for the border going around. So it's going to move fast. It's real exciting. It looks a mess down there now, but it's going to look great when it's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the other thing with the park projects is benches. The benches were approved for all the parks.
Great.
I don't know where we're at selecting the benches.
Okay.
I know, Commissioner, you talked about the ones at the Scarlet Playground.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's looked into that yet or not. I haven't.
The cost, God, I can't remember the cost of
Yeah, you
those
sent
anymore.
that,
I
yeah.
got that price. But those were ones, where they had the name of Lakes Area Rotary put in into the back of it, so you can see who donated them. But I can definitely get the price on those and see where we got them from.
Maybe when we get the benches set at Riley, we can take a look at those and see if those are something that the recreation might want to go in that direction. I think it'd be good to keep them all fairly consistent throughout the parks.
Yep.
Great. And then I read through the notes. With Mercer, I wasn't sure if I picked this up, though. With Mercer Beach, does it look like the beach is going to be closed then, pretty much through the end of June, maybe into July?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
through the end of June.
Okay.
They've had a little problem with weather and the frost laws coming on. They couldn't haul materials out in the quantities that they would have liked to. Took twice as long to do that.
Yeah.
With the weather, it was pretty bad, so. But they've got all the pipe installed down there. They're doing the excavating for the parking lot and getting the base of sub-gravel in there. And then they're going to pour the concrete, the curbs, and the sidewalks. And then as soon as the asphalt plants open up, they'll be in their paving. So we'll get Phase 1 done pretty quick, and then we'll start Phase 2. We're waiting for Phase 2 to go out for bid. There are a couple of things that had to take place before that could go out. But we have all the information to the state for the grant work. So we're just waiting on them now to
Phase
allow
2
us to
was
go out.
June 20th is going to start, right? Was that phase?
We just have to get it out to bid. It's kind of went out a little later than what we anticipated. So hopefully we can get someone in there starting by June 20th. That would be
Okay.
a good goal. And that's for the bioswale and the
It's-
sidewalks and the new fence
Okay.
and the
That's
lights.
Phase 2?
Yeah, Phase 2
2
is, yes.
And then so in regards to like the summer market and the fireworks, then the beach will be closed during that time. That's what I'm anticipating. It's June 25th.
It depends where they're at with the, within the project.
Okay.
So if it's a safe area and it can be secured and we have the equipment maybe moved off-site or, across the street or something, we may be able to open it up. The parking should be available
Okay.
by then. So it just depends on the condition of the beach itself. Hopefully, we can make it safe enough to have people out on the beach watching
Okay.
fireworks.
Commissioner Arnold, I believe you were going to ask a question.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, what was the vision and the completed project?
I'm sorry,
Can
could
you
you repeat that?
Yeah, once the project is complete, can you say what will be different in the beach area?
With
I
which-
think in relation to the pipes and everything, why is everything going in, I think is, because the park itself isn't going to change, it's just the drainage that's changing, and so therefore the beach and everything is being torn up so they can lay the new pipes down, which is going to increase or improve the water flow cleanliness into the lake itself. And then also act, I think, as a bypass going out to Wixom to help out with them as well, delivering water, is that right? Or is that a different
Not- that's
project?
a different project.
Okay, yeah, so it's not going to look any different when it's done. It's just right now it's torn up to accommodate that.
It'll look a bit different. There's going to be a little bit of change to the aesthetics of the beach. They're going to have a new fence, all new sidewalks, all new decorative lighting down there, LED lighting. We're going to move the storm drain from the middle of the pipe, and that's the reason we're doing this, is to get that nasty, unsightly pipe out from the middle of the beach. So aesthetically, it's going to be a
Oh, yeah.
lot different.
Okay.
And then is there going to be a change too? Wasn't there the bathrooms, outhouse?
That hasn't,
taken out?
there's talk of that, nothing's been approved or decided on that yet. So for now, we'll stick with the old plan, but definitely we're going to do something for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Also, the drainage is going to go from the center of the beach to the side of the beach.
Correct, yes, we're moving this pipe from the center all the way over to the west side of the beach.
So then also are you doing, at some point I saw a swale, in between the parking?
Yes.
In parking and the actual thing?
That's Phase 2.
Okay,
That's the
perfect.
that's the grant work,
Excellent. That'll be great.
yeah. And the council decided to go ahead and spend a lot of extra money and put in a device that's called a storm scepter. And what it does is basically, it's kind of like painting for gold. So all the heavy metals settle to the bottom of the storm scepter. As the water goes through it, it swirls around, and the heavy metals drop to the bottom, and then the city will be responsible to clean it out at minimum once a year, probably twice a year. So it really will clean up the water that's entering the lake from the whole downtown, basically drains into that area.
Fantastic.
Storm runoff.
Yeah, because there's a lot, with all the building and everything that's gone on in that area and the houses, that's wonderful to hear that they're putting this in
Yeah.
to clean it up.
Clean water has got to be a priority for us. We're a lake community, so.
Absolutely. Great. Any more questions from the commissioners before we move on? Okay, so we'll go into the discussion portion of our meeting, and the first topic on that is going to be the spring egg hunt.
Yes, I just wanted to remind everybody that it is this Saturday, the 16th, from 11 to 1. And if you guys could be there at about 10 a.m. to help set up and spread out the eggs. That's all I really wanted to just remind everybody to be there and help get it set up.
Yep. I know Kathy and I will be there for sure,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be there as well.
Great.
Excellent.
So will I.
All right, that's great.
And if we, as a commission, if we can promote it on our social media, to make sure people in the community know about it.
Ms. Fernandez, if I could piggyback off of that, there is a Facebook event that is created for this event happening on Saturday. It is linked to the Walled Lake Farmers Market page, so if you wouldn't mind sharing that official event, that would be great.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second one is Memorial Day Parade.
All right, so I will take that too. So I wanted to begin by saying, obviously, we just discussed the construction that's going to be taking place downtown there with the beach, and also the resurfacing of Pontiac Trail. We have decided to change the parade route. So I have a map for you guys, and I will send it in an email tomorrow to everybody that's online.
Great, thank you.
But I'll pass it up really quick.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So this is in response to the resurfacing of Pontiac Trail that's going to be happening very shortly. So in anticipation for the work that's going to be happening, should construction be ongoing, we decided to change the staging area for our parade. We're going to be partnering with the Orchard Grove Community Church and the school offices to have that be our staging area, and we'll be starting there and then making our way to the city public safety campus for our ceremony.
Perfect. It's actually a great alternative. I mean, straight shot and plenty of parking for the staging area and such, so nice job finding that, and pulling that
And it
together.
is about the same length as well.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And then I just wanted to mention another thing as far as the parade. So most of you probably know Marielle Liu from Fox 2 News. She is an anchor, and she's actually a Walled Lake resident. And she has agreed to be the 2022 Grand Marshal for the for our annual Memorial Day Parade. So I did provide some information on her as well. I will pass it out and I'll email it as well.
She's great.
Yeah, that's
I like
wonderful.
watching her
Nice.
run.
Did you get that?
I like watching her on Fox, too. She's fun.
I got her.
That's
yeah, she's a Walled
fant-
Lake resident, so.
Good.
We're excited, yeah, to have her as our
If,
grand marshal.
was there anything else to cover on that, on the parade?
I
I
have
had a
one.
couple questions.
Sorry.
You can go ahead, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to see, make sure that still going to be doing the announcing in front of Casey's.
Yes.
That's planned,
That is
because
the plan, yes.
it's such a great tradition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is
They're such a
the
great
plan,
community member.
yes.
Great. And then, how many participants do we have in the parade at this point that have sent in contracts? And did Veterations get that over to you?
I
Yeah.
don't think they did.
Okay.
If you want to maybe reach out to them again. We have probably about like 15 applications right now in.
Okay, is that about right, what you look for? Is
A lot of them come in like later,
Okay.
so, and we haven't had it the last 2 years, so I'm trying to remember. It's probably about normal though.
Okay.
A lot of people do turn it in last minute.
And then what about vehicles for the Grand Marshal, the mayor, and that? How do we find vehicles, or do you need help with that at all?
Typically, we did have partnered with Schumann. I think the chief of police is going to reach out to them and see if they're willing to partner again. But if you know anybody that wants to donate a vehicle, then that would be helpful.
Okay. And that would be something with an open top, like Wranglers or convertibles or something along those lines?
Probably, preferably, yeah. I mean,
Okay. All right, I can work on that for about 4 of them. I think I can help out with
That's great.
Okay.
4 vehicles like that. So I'll work on that for us as well. Who actually does go in, who are the city leaders that do ride in a car then? At that point, we know it's going to be the Grand Marshal, the mayor,
In council.
all city council.
Some of them
Okay.
walk, though, next to the car, so is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it. So we don't need too many, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. And then, is there any other questions around the Memorial Day Parade from the commissioners, those who are attending virtually or here at the City Hall?
I'm excited to have it back.
I know.
Can't wait.
Again,
great.
with the promoting, I mean, the application's on our website, and
Okay.
we have it here at City Hall, so if you want to promote that as well.
Okay,
Absolutely.
perfect. All right, in that case, we're going to move towards adjournment. That's run through the agenda for this evening, and thanks again for the update on the parks, Dan. That's some
I-
exciting stuff going on.
Sorry, I have
Sure,
one more
Commissioner.
question on a park. So on Hiram Sims, when you drive around the back and you're in that back area, I know that you've cleared some of that brush around that little pond that's at the back, and then that gate is open, and there's a gate there. I know there's a path there. Is there any way that we can like blacktop it or put something in there a little more permanent to make sure people know that it's a permanent access point to the park?
Is that the one that goes back to the condominiums?
Yes.
Back there, okay.
And something we could look into,
Okay.
yeah.
I just think it would look nice, especially now that we have the pond a little bit more open, and maybe even put a bench there. I think it'd be nice, so
Okay.
it's very welcoming. So,
Yeah.
thanks, Dan.
All right, good suggestion. Okay, I think we can just adjourn, right? We don't need to do a roll call on that. Okay, this evening's meeting is adjourned, and thanks for all our virtual attendees. We appreciate it.